Just wanted to let everybody know before you tune into this video. As you can see, I got the New York to Paris. You can see that it does also have that padding on the back for the insole. So it's what you saw on the LA to Chicago's, but it's also featured on the New York to Paris. So I just wanted to point that out before you watch the video. Enjoy. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Milnificent, coming back with another video. Thank you for dropping by. So we're going to go over the Air Jordan 1 New York to Paris, as well as the LA to Chicago. If this is your first time, please subscribe, and I will actually subscribe back. I love reading the comments and the likes. So, you know, as I'm trying to do this sole transition, the whole point of this channel is to give you feedback, at least my feedback, and general knowledge, which I hope that you would take when you come in the video. It's something that you learn by the time you end this video. So, you've probably seen countless videos of the New York to Paris, LA to Chicago, and quite honestly, there's a lot of things that I've learned that this is why I'm here to share with you. So, I actually already did the New York to Paris, not the video, but I've already done the painting. I'll show you what I did. I'll give you some tips on what to do if you're going to go to the LA to Chicago version, and then try to kind of do that. Now, for those that want to, hey, scratch it up, and sure, you do what you want to do. For me, I wanted something fine, clear, crisp, or smooth, so it didn't look like it was coming out of the streets. I get that it's an SB Nike AJ1 collaboration, but you got to keep in mind, it is not the first time they did this. They did this quite a few times. In fact, they did it last year. I'm going to pull out one just for you right now. Now, you got to keep in mind, Nike SB Skating. Before I get to this shoe, the reason why they did New York to Paris, LA to Chicago, was for more money. Nike wanted more money. I'm joking. They're basically paying homage to the skateboarding world, right? So we know Air Jordan 1, we think basketball, but quite honestly, back then in the 80s, skateboarding with Air Jordan 1s was very popular. I mean, I'm not talking about just amateurs doing it. Professionals were doing it, and they were wearing the Air Jordan 1s because at the time, that was the shoe to wear when you're skateboarding. So SB Skateboarding Nike collaboration, again, this is not the first time Air Jordan 1 and the whole SB collaboration happened. Last year, they came out with an SB Dunk that, to me, looks like the Genius that came out this year. So, if you're not familiar, that didn't break. Remember, these came out last year, right? So, these were the Nike SB Dunks that came out last year, and it basically fused the Air Jordan 1, the Air Jordan 11, and SB Dunk collaboration, and it came out with this. Now, this shoe I probably wore 3 times maybe, but I thought that this was a dope collaboration. I think it came with the Jordan 11 laces, and I swapped that out just to make it pop with the red, but these are the SB Dunks. Now that you know the history, sort of, I'm not really going to review the shoe. You've seen there's plenty of people reviewing it. We know it's the basic Air Jordan 1 that you've seen. The one thing that people were complaining about was the quality of the leather. So, but there's a reason for that. If I'm Nike, right, I probably tested this in the lab to make sure what type of material that I want to use for the next or the new SB Dunk collaboration. If the idea is to remove paint, what are the drawbacks in doing it? Now, people were complaining about the leather quality, saying that, you know, hey, this looks like the Royal Blues from last year in terms of the quality. It is hard synthetic leather. But there's a reason for that. Now, here I hold the next Air Jordan 1, which you'll actually see a video of this. If you're not familiar with this Air Jordan 1, maybe you should. You just don't know what it was. This used to be the Sports Illustrated. Remember with the crazy green stuff here? I'm coming out with a video, actually a live video, that shows you how I stripped this down. But this is the Sports Illustrated that released in December last year. Now, I bring this out because this low-key was the most slept-on shoe from last year in terms of quality. I think I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. The quality on this shoe is so soft, it's not even funny. Now, this is the premium leather that people are looking to get. The one you can bend, you won't see creases, things of that nature. The problem is, if you were to incorporate this type of leather with this shoe and the concept of removing paint, bad combination. Acetone, right? So, alcohol, nail polish remover. I would not want this material to leak on fine leather. It's probably going to damage the leather. So that's probably why they went and decided to use this hardened leather, where if the paint drips, you'd probably be able to remove it easily on this type of leather. It's easier to do. Trust me. I've done it with one of the shoes. I'll just bring it out shortly. But before I get into this shoe, I will say that here's what I did. And again, we'll get into the shoe. Here's what I used. I decided not to use anything colorized, nail polish remover. Alcohol is clear, so you don't have to worry about that. I think it requires you to rub off a little bit more. But I decided to use nail polish remover all throughout. And, hold on. The key things that I used, forgot one. The key things that I used nail polish remover, but I used a clear solution versus this. Because the reason for that, because if you're using this on the LA to Chicago's, LA to Chicago's have areas on the Air Jordan 1, I think it's the side panels and actually the tongue, that has white. Now, because they use this hardened leather that you can see right here, on the New York to Paris and the LA to Chicago, it's easier to white, but you increase the chances of making that white kind of dull. I noticed that there was bleeding of the paint going on the rubber midsole of the shoe, and it would leak in the leather portion, right? So I'll show you how to fix that. But just my recommendation, if you're going to use nail polish, you can use this, but try to find a clear solution if possible. So that's my first advice. My second advice, I used a combination of, can't even pull this out. I used a combination of Q-tips and, excuse me one second. So Q-tips and this, right? So this is a swab, but it's circle. It's nice and soft on both sides. And the reason why, because again, you want that smooth. Think of you painting your house, right? You paint your house. What do you do to prep it? Some people, they use tape. Now, again, keep with me. I decided to use this organic beauty, whatever it's called. The whole point is, if you can get something like this, a swab, but make sure it's smooth on both sides. That way, when you pour it on and you're rubbing the paint, you're doing just one motion, right? I tell people, try not to do this too much. Just do kind of like an up-down motion on the heel. I noticed that. For this portion, I actually did, and you'll see it soon. I kind of did the same thing. Now, what I did differently is that I kind of folded this in half and kind of used this portion, and then I went in here. But when it got to getting to the top portion of the shoe, specifically the edges, like right around the edges is where the Q-tip is going to kind of come in handy, where you can take that and kind of rub, do kind of this motion, kind of rub around here, just because you don't want that to bleed into the actual shoe here. And actually, the shoe, but the heel. And actually what I did on this portion is I use black magic marker. Yes, I use magic marker on the black portion of the New York to Paris. On the swoosh, right near the heel, actually on the top of the heel, and here too, because I didn't want the pink to show, and I want to kind of put something on over top the existing black paint, something that would kind of hold the paint longer without having me, worrying about the exposure of pink, like bright pink. Crimson, I don't mind because it really is kind of like a peach color, and there's certain clothes that I have that I can get away with that, but I didn't want the hot pink showing at all. So my idea was to at least put black magic marker and kind of go around here, and it actually worked. because I actually took the nail polish remover and then I tried to smear it to see if I would get any pink on it. Nope. Seems like I put enough black magic marker around the black portion of the shoe. Again, I like to experiment just to see if you can and cannot. Another suggestion is when you do the LA to Chicago's. LA to Chicago, again, has that white kind of sail. Actually, it's white midsole. And because of that, the leather, not the leather, the sewn material, like right between the ridges, can be exposed to the paint. So, like I said, if you're a painter, most people that paint their houses, I had to paint this room, use like this tape. And the tape helps protect areas where you don't want the paint being exposed. So if you have some tape like this, I kind of got a little bit left, it'd be ideal for you to just take this tape and just cover the midsole. Go all the way around, cover the midsole. That way you're not worried about the paint dripping on the midsole, you taking whatever cleaning solution, have to go back and clean again. It saves you time, it makes your job easier. So with that said and done, let's see what the New York Paris final version, what I did here. So that's kind of an unboxing for this shoe. Again, I already pretty much did it. And drum roll P, no drum roll, just this is the shoe. So if you can see right here, put this in here, and that's another thing. When you're painting this, whether you're painting the New York to Paris or the LA to Chicago, keep the shoelaces inside, tuck the tongue in, and the tongue, since it's white, you can find something to cover it. Actually, it'd be ideal to take the shoe tree out and kind of push it down. Because now, by doing this, you now have the Q-tips. You can sit there and go through here, not have to worry about touching this or this. And you can see this is my New York to Paris. Do a little 360 on it. I decided to design it this way. And you can see how it's nice and smooth. There's no hard spots or it doesn't look crazy. But I use the Q-tip to do like these portions on the tip of the shoe, like the outer portion, outer region of the shoe. Going a little faster, but anyway, on the outer portion region of the shoe, so it doesn't hit other areas. Now this area is supposed to color crimson pink, but because of the way I did it, I was very careful with this. I wanted to see if it was possible to do all of this without the bleeding, and as those tips that I just basically told you within the first 15, 10, probably 12, whatever minutes of this video, those are the same suggestions I'm going to give to you for the LA to Chicago's. Because for some people, LA Chicago's, you want to convert that over. For those of us that really want to convert from LA to Chicago, I'm still debating it. I wanted to get a trial run on the New York to Paris, because these pairs, they were mass produced, but you can still make this shoe pop. Again, a lot of people are against getting it because, I mean, quite honestly, if I look at this shoe, I would have been fine with just the gray and black. Dope, right? But the fact that it has to change a certain color, you decided to do crimson, cool. But the hot pink, nothing wrong with people that like hot pink. I'm not Cameron. I don't have stuff in my wardrobe that would make this work. But peach, I can pull this off. There's a lot of stuff that I can wear with this. So that's why I exposed the crimson color. And you're not seeing the top of it. Yeah, that's basically what it looks like. And without actually, yeah. See this? That's the hot pink that we're talking about. And quite honestly, there's no way I could do it. So I haven't decided whether I'm gonna keep the black laces in. Maybe I'll do it, leave it as is, or maybe I might just put that in here, and you'll see the crimson. Maybe it's too much crimson, or maybe I just might trip it up and just do gray. So these are my primary laces. You probably will not see this on my New York to Paris. And again, New York to Paris. New York has a different style of skateboarding. Paris has a different style of skateboarding, but they was definitely relevant in those regions back then. That's why, again, skateboarding, basketball. With that said and done, I'm going to put these away because, excuse me, I'm back. All right, because finally got the package that I wanted, which is the LA to Chicago's. Again, I didn't have they didn't. It's not like I didn't have these shoes the same day. I wish I did, but unfortunately, I ended up getting these the day it got released, and I got the New York to Paris and the shock drop. So there was days in between, and I'm glad it kind of happened that way, so I could again experiment with the New York to Paris before I even thought about doing anything with LA to Chicago. Once again, you got your typical Nike box. Let's get that open. Alright, so this is kind of like my first time seeing it up close and personal. And, oh, okay, well, of course you got the Nike receipt. And, oh, you put this in backwards, that's cool. So, let's get rid of, oh, just to let you know, it's not the first time you've seen Nike and SB on the Jordan, Air Jordan 1. They did it last year. Again, these aren't the Ginas that released not too long ago. These are the SB Dunks that released last year, and it has Nike SB on there. So, just for those that didn't know. But anyway. Alright. You know me. I'm not the hype beast. And maybe because I'm really not a Laker fan, I ain't feeling LA. I'm not feeling it. And a lot of people are saying, they're probably going to be like, Milton, you're stupid. Again, it's just my opinion. People are going to have other opinions. It's okay. But it's not like, oh my God, it's amazing. Because they're not the true LA colors. Now, from what I understand, it had to be done this way because of the paint job, right? So if you're going from LA to Chicago, this has to turn black. So it'd probably be easier to turn black if they use the actual Laker color, and it will probably be more black than what. In order for this yellow or gold to stick, they needed something a lot darker, so it wouldn't expose the black as much. But seeing as though I'm going to be doing this, hopefully one day when I decide to actually do it. Yeah, this is going. No offense to you Laker fans, but I'm a Sixers fan. I was a Jordan fan, so I'm going to go kind of Team Chicago when I do this full-blown. There's not going to be no little bit of purple, little bit of gold. It's going to be full-blown Chicago. I'm letting you know right now. So, you will be seeing either this lace, and I will not do any customization to it like I did with the New York to Paris, because it's kind of customized. There's certain areas that still have that crimson appeal left to it, right? You know, you got the gray in it, but I just didn't. You got the crimson in it. I just didn't expose it yet. This I am going full blown out again with the suggestions that I made earlier in the video, so you know what to do when you get the shoe. I'm gonna take both of them out because this actually is pretty dope. I mean, quite honestly, I like the collaboration SB with Nike Air Jordan 1, just because it's pretty dope. It is pretty dope. Now, again, not the first time I've had an SB Air Jordan 1 collaboration, because as you can see, got last year's, but I had to get both. You got one, you might as well do it all. I didn't convert this one just yet, but this one will look like this one. So, I hope you learned or took away something from this. But before you jump into these babies, these LA to Chicago's, if you were able to get them, I just take my advice, because like I said, this white sail, this actually is white. If you can see right here, this is the type of leather that I was talking about, where it's hardened. You want to be careful, so you want to do Q-tips around this area. Just go straight Q-tips. That would be my advice to you. If you do this, it takes a little bit of time, but it'll be worth it at the end, and you'll have a smooth result, like I did when I did the New York to Paris. Just do Q-tip. There you go. Q-tip around on the eyelets right here. Just go down with the Q-tips. In the larger areas, you can do the whole pad, the cotton pad, and just go around and kind of, slowly go around the heel, a little bit of cotton tab here, and again, fold that cotton tab in half, and then just make your way around. Now, oh, I was getting ready to say, but you don't want that to bleed on here. You can clean it off, but again, if you want a real smooth Jordan Chicago, just smooth. Think of Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off type deal. Yeah, you know, wax on, wax off. For those old heads like me, not to say I'm really old, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, your boy, Miltnificent, New York to Paris, LA to Chicago, SB Dunks, and look out for my future video, Sports Illustrated, a live look, how to expose this Nike swoosh. There's no speed up, anything. It's just a bunch of, it's a 15-minute video with instrumentals that I did back in the day. Yes, I did instrumentals. I used to do beats. Crazy. But anyway, look for that video. Your boy Miltnificent. I'm glad to bring this to you. I hope you can take this advice as you move on, or whether you're doing, like I said, New York to Paris, LA to Chicago. Have fun. It is yours to do what you want to do. But if you're looking to do like the smooth transition, like as I said, that I did with these, take my advice and just simply run with it. Your boy Miltnificent, I am out. Hopefully I can enjoy the weekend. We'll see. Don't forget to subscribe to me. I will subscribe to you. You can hit that like button. And shout out to Unbreakable Kicks, because quite honestly, I would not be able to get this if I didn't listen to his advice when you're trying to cop a shoe on Sneakers app. No bot, no multiple accounts, just kind of common sense technical things that I didn't think about. Shout out to him for that. And shout out to my man Damn D. I know people, there's Damn D fans, there's Unbreakable fans, but I kind of learned from both of them, you know. So, yeah, Damn D. Damn D. Damn D. Just look it up. Just look it up. So, your boy Miltnificent, I'm out. I got stuff to do. Don't forget Keith Adam. Keith Adam, no, not Keith Thurman. Keith Adam, boxer. Keith Thurman. Keith Adam also is a good channel for resources, for knowledge and for information. Damn D is another one. He'll give you his honest opinion, but he also have that street knowledge that he can drop down to you. Trust me, it would be relevant for you. And also, like I said, Unbreakable Kicks, when it comes to sneakers, he always gives you that breaking sneaker news that we may or may not know. Again, I've learned a lot from all three channels, so that's just my, what would you call that? Just give them props, basically, to all three channels. That's how this channel's made. I just try to give it a little bit of spin. But, yeah. Anyway, Miltnificent, I'm out. You guys have a blessed day. Peace.